What is up, guys? My name is Pocketcraft and welcome to Season 2 of the Cobblemon Survival Guide. In this series, I'm going to teach you absolutely everything you could ever want to know about Cobblemon, and we are going to have a ton of fun while doing it. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the fun, and let's get into it. When you start a Cobblemon world, you can press the M key to pick your starter Pokemon. And to have some fun, we're going to pick our starter first, and then I'm going to explain to you a little bit more about this series. And I promise this series is going to be very helpful to all of you, so make sure to stick around. And the first tip I'm going to give you guys is actually how you can start with a shiny starter Pokemon. To do that, when you create your new world, you need to make sure you click on More in the top right corner, go to Game Rules, and then scroll all the way down to the bottom to this Miscellaneous section, and you can click this setting here, Starters Will Be Shiny. This is included with Vanilla Cobblemon. It's an option the developers have given. Then you can click Done, then change whatever settings you want on this world, and you can click Create New World. Then when you come into your world and pick your starter, it will be shiny. And just another tip about starters as well, if you scroll down here, you also have the option to click Hisuian starters and the Paldean ones. So you just want to make sure you know that. I know some people can miss that. But there's no cooler shiny than shiny Charizard. So we're going to start with our Charmander here. And look how awesome this guy is. This is going to be a great start to the series here. I'm so excited to have a shiny Charmander and eventually Charizard on our team. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed that tip. But now we're going to get started in our world, and as we do, I'm just going to explain a little bit about what this series is going to be as I do basic Minecraft things like breaking some trees. So in this first episode, I'm going to cover a lot of the basics of Cobblemon so that anyone who's starting this game for the first time can have all of their questions answered and know how to play the game. Then in future videos, I'm going to start off by answering some big question or showing a tutorial, like how to build an automatic apricorn farm, how to raise a Pokemon's friendship, how to find legendary Pokemon, any question that anyone could ever have. My goal is by the end of the series, you will know how to do everything in Cobblemon and not have any more questions. And feel free to comment down in any video something you want me to focus on or something you have a question about. And then the rest of that episode is going to be a Let's Play, mainly focused on what we learned in the tutorial. My hope here is that this can be a really fun, immersive Let's Play experience for all of us, but it can also teach anything you'd want to know about Cobblemon. So make sure to have that subscribe button and notification bell hit so you don't miss any new uploads, because all of these videos are going to go in sequence and I'm going to try and teach things in the most logical order possibly. Then I have a couple of goals to also make this series more enjoyable and a better Let's Play. Goal number 1 is obviously to teach you everything there is to know about Cobblemon. Goal number 2 is to beat all of the gyms and become the champion, and I'll talk more about how to do that in a future episode. Number 3 is to complete the Kanto Pokedex. I want to catch a full team of shiny Pokemon, beat the Ender Dragon, and we're going to use the Wheel of Doom. What is the Wheel of Doom, you may ask? The Wheel of Doom is something I've invented to make Let's Plays a little bit more exciting. Every time we hit a member goal, which is every 5 channel members, I'm going to spin the Wheel of Doom. And I'll have some of the things that are in the Wheel of Doom in the comments down below so you can see. But this will give me some crazy challenge, like staying outside all night, raiding another fortress, and so much more. This will hopefully make the series a little bit more exciting and have some more ways for it to be interactive and you guys to affect what happens. Alright, well I think that's enough introduction, and now we're going to get into this episode and I'm going to show you a lot of the basics for Cobblemon. So to start off here, you can press the M key and it will bring up this menu here to show all of your Pokemon. Right now obviously we just have Charmander, but you can click here to see their moves, and this is where you can change moves once they level up to learn more. And at the bottom here you can see a description of the move, and then you can click here to see their stats. It starts with their base stats. You can click IVs to show IVs, and actually our Charmander has a really good attack IV and speed, which is pretty awesome. You can click here to see EVs. In a future episode we'll talk about EV training, and then you can click other to see friendship and sometimes mods, which we'll talk about the best mods to use, like Mega Showdown. We'll add Dynamax level and similar things. Then obviously the best thing about Cobblemon is there's wild Pokemon all around. If you want to battle one of these, you can just look at them and press the R button. Then your Pokemon will come out, and you're usually kind of locked in an awkward position like this. But you can press the R button and move around. And as you can see, they have some awesome little animations here for Charmander and some of the other Pokemon. And you press R again to battle. Click fight, obviously, and then you can just pick a move like any normal Pokemon game. This UI they've made very similar to normal Pokemon games, which is nice. And then once you knock a Pokemon out, you get some XP, and it'll show that here in the middle. Now, Cobblemon also adds all sorts of different plants into Minecraft that are related to Pokemon. So for example, these right here are nature mints. And we'll show these more in a future video, but these allow you to change a Pokemon's nature, which will be very helpful in building strong Pokemon. And now you can leave your Pokemon outside of their Pokeball and they'll actually follow you around, which is a lot of fun. So Charmander here is going to follow us around. Sometimes if you move too quickly, they'll go back in their Pokeball. And then you can press R again to make them return. And holy cow, 5 minutes in and we just found a wild Rowlet. We definitely need to catch this. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a hack here because we don't have any Pokeballs. But if you craft a crafting table and then build a boat by putting planks like this, you can then go up to any Pokemon and you can put it in the boat. And then that Pokemon will never despawn. So if you don't have good Pokeballs or if a Pokemon that spawns that's really high level, I highly recommend putting them in a boat. Otherwise they'll despawn and you'll definitely miss out on catching them. Speaking of Pokeballs, Pokeballs need to be crafted using apricorns, which will grow on trees like this, and there are several different colors, and each color corresponds to different kinds of Pokeballs, and then either gold, iron, or copper. And so we'll have to get some of that so we can start building some Pokeballs and hopefully catch our special little Rowlet here. And Rowlet is actually an ultra rare spawn, so that's huge that we found it right there. Like normal Pokemon games in Cobblemon, Pokemon are differentiated by certain rarity levels. So I'm going to gather up some apricorns and other things here so we can catch another Pokemon, and I can show you more tips about that. And as the name of the series implies, we are playing in survival mode and we have normal Minecraft mobs enabled. So I'm going to build us a little bit of a shelter here so we can hide out the night and be safe, and then we'll come back tomorrow and continue. All right, the sun has risen, so we're going to get out here. Now it's safe for us to go outside, and I'm just going to go ahead and gather up some basic materials like wood and maybe mine to see if I can get some copper, so then I can show you how to craft Pokeballs and show you a couple of other pro tips that I think are going to be really helpful, especially how to use this mini map over here to catch Pokemon and to make sure you don't lose important things in your world. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a very lucky first episode here. I've been gathering materials for a while, and I was just about to bring you guys back when I noticed on the mini map here in the corner that a Cobblemon, or Cobblemon, I have no idea how you pronounce it, just spawned in, which is epic. Level 60, we definitely can't take it now, but let's see if we can get it in the boat. And oh no, we are not as lucky as I thought. But legendary Pokemon aren't in vanilla Cobblemon, so I'm using all the mons, a data pack to add them in. In some data packs, you can use boats on legendaries, but in all the mons, you can't, which really stinks. So we're probably going to lose this guy, which is a huge bummer, but we'll see if we can catch him nonetheless. First things first, we need to catch a furnace. And as you can tell, I was pretty busy and went a little bit overboard mining, but I just want to make sure we had enough to start off our world. And we'll make a prettier base in the future, but for now, we just need to smelt some copper so that we can go ahead and make ourselves some Pokeballs. And actually, just for the sake of time, and because we have plenty of materials, I'm going to build us a second furnace here, place some coal in it, and add some iron up top so that we can make some even better Pokeballs. Unfortunately, we don't have any gold with us. We haven't been able to find gold yet. If we did, we would have been able to craft quick balls, probably give us our best chance of catching Cobblemon. Without a quick ball, I don't know that we're going to be able to do it. We don't have high enough Pokemon to level him down. All we have is our little level 10 Charmander here, who is awesome, but I don't think he's going to be capable of that. And so right here, hopefully Cobblemon doesn't despawn. It probably will. It may have already. Yeah, I think it did. Well, that's a bummer. So we are not going to get Cobblemon first episode, but that's okay. We're not really ready for a legendary Pokemon anyways, but we will come back and find one in future episodes. We'll have an episode dedicated to hunting legendary Pokemon, and that'll be probably one of our goals, is to kind of get ready to where we can catch one, because since the boat trick doesn't work with all the mons, we're really going to have to work to make sure that we're ready to catch one whenever one appears. If we're using a different mod like Mystic Mons, legendary structures, or some of the other ones, boats do work on legendaries. We'll build a chest here just to empty out some of our inventory. While we were hunting around, we also built a bed, which I think should be one of your first priorities in Cobblemon. If you're playing in survival, go knock out some wooloo or sheep to get some wool, because if you're playing in survival, you don't want to get knocked out and lose your apricorns or anything like that. And so we've been smelting for a little bit here. So now I'm going to show you guys how to make Pokeballs, because that's probably the most important thing to do first day besides basic Minecraft things like food. So what I do is I just type in ball in a crafting table, and this will bring up all the Pokeballs. And now the best Pokeballs can be made with gold, but with copper and iron, you can make any of the basic Pokeballs. For each color apricorn, they just have these basic Pokeballs, so normal red Pokeball, or the Premier Ball, or if you have pink, it's the Roseate Ball, blue is Azure Ball, and all of these just have a ×1 catch rate, and we'll build at least one set of these, just because you got to get normal Pokeballs. But really, we're going to try and hopefully get some better ones. Great Balls are with iron and red and blue apricorns. Fast Ball works really well, but only on fast Pokemon with 100 or more base speed. And off the top of my head, I don't know which Pokemon are that fast. fast, so it's not always my favorite. The Sport Ball has the same catch rate as Great Ball, so that's a great option. Heavy Ball can also be made with iron and works really well for large Pokemon. We might keep that in case we run into another legendary or a Snorlax. The Moon Ball works really well if it's a full moon, but I also don't really track that. Net Ball is great on water or bug types, so we'll build some of these in case we come across some water Pokemon. But for now, I think I'm just going to build as many Great Balls as I can, just to start us off where we can catch some good Pokemon, and then we might add a few things of Citrine Balls as well. I just want to have backups because right now we're going to struggle to get Pokemon's HP down pretty low, and so we just want as many Pokeballs as we can to make sure we can still catch a Pokemon. Now, as far as finding Pokemon to catch, I highly recommend using this Minimap here in the right corner. You've seen me using it throughout this episode. To install it, all you need to do is download Zero's Minimap and then Zero's Cobblemon Resource Pack. I'll link in the description a video I have that does a full tutorial on this, and then I'll do another tutorial in the future in this series. But this map is a lifesaver. You can check here in the right corner where Pokemon are. A lot of times people get confused because it doesn't show Pokemon at first. You need to press the Y button, go to Entity Radar Settings, and make sure Display Icons is on always. Otherwise, whenever you spawn in, it'll just show these little dots instead of the Pokemon icons. My other thing that I use this for very often that you'll see is if you press the U button, it'll come up with waypoints, and you can click Add Edit and add something here like base, which we're going to make a prettier home base at some point. And then you can either enable or disable this, and if it's enabled, it will show up on the map here. See this one right here on my face, and then if you go farther away, you can use it to go somewhere. So we'll disable that for now. As you can see, I found some stuff as I was looking for resources that I put waypoints for so we can find them later on. And I also did one for Rowlet. You can see that R right there. That's where Rowlet is. Now, I don't know that we'll go and try and catch him immediately because we don't really have very good Pokeballs. So normally I wouldn't recommend it, but I do think it'd be awesome to start off with a Rowlet. So we'll try and catch it. This is going to be a difficult one because I don't know if we can even attack it or we might knock it out. So we'll go here and see what we can do, but I think it would be amazing to catch one. Normally, if I find a starter Pokemon like this early on, I just put them in a boat, wait till I get quick balls or a Pokemon with false swipe. But I think if we leave it in the boat, we can still run. I'm a little nervous to use Scratch. We're going to try it once. I won't use Ember because I think it'll KO for sure. Okay, Scratch doesn't KO, which is huge. We just got growled. As long as we don't get a critical hit here, I think we should be okay. Okay. Now, it was at 61, so I think we could probably do one more, but I'm actually just going to throw a Great Ball for now and wait a second because I think it's going to keep using Growl on us, and as long as it does, then we can wait a little bit here until it's ready. And our shiny Charmander looks awesome. I love the little animation it has. So like I said earlier, to catch, you just need to press the R button, click catch, and then you can just throw your Pokeball at him. It's a little bit hard to find the hitbox when it's here in the boat. We keep hitting the chicken, but there we go. Make sure you just line up with it and throw it, and we'll see if we get lucky here, and we might. Oh, okay. We almost got lucky there. Let's see. It used Tackle here. I'd like it to use Growl one more time before we attack it because I really don't want to knock it out, and there's always the chance that we'll get a critical hit, which would be a huge bummer. And let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay, I did not think we would catch that quickly, but we just caught ourselves a Rowlet, which is pretty epic. We have just barely started, and we already have two of the coolest starter Pokemon of all time on our team. And now that's an important tip as well. To switch between Pokemon, you use the arrow keys. So right now, Charmander is selected, and if I use R, he'll come out. If I want to switch, I can use the arrow key down, and then we'll be on Rowlet. Another thing, if you click the M key, and you go to this Pokemon menu here, you can also click the little switch button up here, and you can switch their positions. Now that we've caught a Pokemon, let's see if we can level up our Charmander here. Gogoat is kind of a high level. It's level 14, but we're going to go for it anyways. Or Skiddo, sorry. Gogoat's the evolved form. We'll go for an Ember here, and it does about 30 damage, which is pretty good. Let's see how much its Razor Leaf does. That kind of does a lot, so we'll use Ember again. Hopefully we get a burn or it, and we do land a burn, which is pretty huge, which means Razor Leaf is going to do less damage. That's one of my favorite things about burning Pokemon is their physical attacks are going to do less damage. So we may take it out this turn here. I think with the burn, it should go down, and we do live a Vine Whip. Charmander's a beast. We knock it out here, and as you can see, Charmander is going to get leveled up. He gains 520 experience and goes up 2 levels and learns Dragon Breath, which is pretty sweet. And then Skiddo here drops something. So this is one of the nicest things about Cobblemon is Pokemon you knock out will drop items related to what they are. So since Skiddo is a goat Pokemon, it's going to drop something similar to kind of sheep or goats, you know. And you can see a full list of Pokemon drops on the Cobblemon wiki, but I'll go through some of the most important ones in a future episode. Now that we've caught Rowlet, we'll go ahead and get our boat back here. Ooh, and we are playing with the fight or flight mod, which is a little scary because that means that Pokemon can attack you. And if they're attacking you like this, you can either fight it normally or you can throw out your Pokemon. Now Charmander here is probably going to faint. but we can use that to teach some other important lessons. And I didn't teach him Dragon Breath yet, so we're just going to go for Ember, which might do more for stab anyways. Natu here might be a little bit of a difficult one. Hopefully it keeps using Leer and we don't get knocked out. If we do, I can show you a little bit how Pokemon heal. You do need to craft a healing machine to heal them completely. You can find them in villages and just right click the machine, but unfortunately if you break them in villages you can't take them with you. It'll just go down to some materials, and so to craft them it's actually pretty expensive. We'll show that in a future episode, but you're going to need some diamonds and a gas tier. And we do take out Natu, which is huge, so Charmander is going to keep getting some experience here. We'll have to start leveling up our Rowlet here in a minute. We're at level 14, which is pretty awesome. And now luckily Pokemon will just heal themselves naturally over time if you don't have a healing machine yet. When you go to bed as well, which I realized I left my bed over there, it'll heal your Pokemon a little bit, as well as you can use certain berries like Oran berries. If you right click Charmander, you'll open up this menu here and you can click your Pokemon to heal them, just like in the normal Pokemon. Now we want to be safe, so we're going to head over here and sleep through the night. And then I think our biggest thing that we want to do here before we finish this episode is kind of build a real base. So with the fight or flight mod as well, certain Pokemon like Voltorb will do things that Voltorb actually does in the game, like explode. And there's another one here. Shoot. So I went to start the battle and I think I accidentally fled. I meant to battle Voltorb there to prevent him from exploding, but luckily it doesn't actually explode the ground like a creeper does. But as you can see, when I went to bed, it did heal my Pokemon. It isn't always all the way. It just heals them a little bit, but since they have so little HP, I think it heals them all the way, which is a nice thing early game. Take our bed with us as we move, and we'll transport this stuff later, but we're gonna look for a place to set up a permanent home base. Alright, I've been wandering around for a while and I found this awesome dark forest biome that's kind of overlooking this lake with a waterfall right next to us. There's like some hidden caves next to it there that I think we can make a cool build out of, as well as a birch forest over there. So I think this is where we're gonna want to set up. I think it's a really good combination of biomes. It's still close to some snowy biomes as well that you can see on the map, which means we can access a lot of different Pokemon here. And that's one of my biggest tips when choosing a home base in Cobblemon. Certain Pokemon only spawn in certain biomes, so you want to have your home base as close to as many biomes as possible so you don't have to go really far to catch certain Pokemon. And later on in the series I'll show you some ways to get to every biome quickly, but early game when you don't have a lot of resources, just try and have your house somewhere near as many biomes as possible. Now this next part's more of a let's play feature and I won't show too much about it, but I do need to build a home base. And if you followed any of my series before, you'll know that building is my weakest point in Minecraft. I love building automatic farms and stuff like that, but I kind of stink at making things look pretty. But no longer. I've committed myself that this series I'm going to make stuff look nice. So we're going to try and teach you everything to know about Cobblemon, have some tons of fun, and also make our world look cool. So I've been watching lots of tutorials and I've started what I think will be a pretty cool build here. It doesn't look like much right now. I've been working on it off camera a little bit, but I'm going to continue building out this right here and I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's done. But I think it's going to be pretty awesome, and then we'll get into a couple final Cobblemon tips before we get ready for the next episode. Before we do, there's actually a Zubat that spawned over here, which interestingly enough, Zubat is like notoriously one of the most annoying Pokemon in the normal Pokemon games, but I'm actually a pretty big fan of Crobat. Let's see if we can find this guy here. And the bummer is when they start moving as well when you're moving, and then it gets really tricky to find them. But we're going to try and find the Zubat here. I've been wanting to catch one for a little bit. I really like Crobat, and I don't know that we'll use it long term on our team, and it actually went back the other way we were coming from. So I don't know if we'll use it long term on our team, but I do think I want a Zubat on the team, at least for a little bit. It'll help me show you guys in a future episode as well how to evolve Pokemon with friendship. And there he is, flying up there. It's going to be a little bit hard to reach him, but we're going to get up there. I want to catch us another Pokemon here, and then we'll get into building our house. So we finally tracked this guy down. He took us on quite the wild goose chase up here, but you can see our house. Beginnings of our house are on the hill, which I think looks pretty sweet. And this is a level 17 Zubat, so it might actually be a little bit hard to catch, but we'll go for it. And he uses Poison Fang on us. We aren't poisoned though, which is good. Hopefully we could land a burn, because Rowlet does not have very high health yet. He's only level 5, so he won't be a whole lot of help in this battle. But hopefully we can get it low enough to catch one. We can always catch a Zubat later, but I'd like to catch one and show you how to work on friendship in one of the upcoming episodes. I think we can go for a scratch one time here. Hopefully we don't get knocked out, and we live on 6 HP. I think Zubat's low enough that we can go throw a Pokeball on it. But luckily in Cobblemon, and that is a good point to share with you guys, when you are trying to run from a battle, you have to click run, and then you actually have to physically run away. So that can be a little annoying when you are actually trying to run and there's monsters around, but if you're not trying to run, it's good. It prevents you from doing it on accident. But there we go. We just caught Zubat, our third Pokemon, and now I'm going to go ahead and finish up building that house and then bring you back for a couple last tips. Okay, we have just had the most insane luck, and I can't believe I didn't catch it on camera. I'm a fool. I was going to grab grab a few final materials for our base, and I came across a roaring moon. I tried to put it in a boat because I thought there's no way I catch this Pokemon right now, but unfortunately, just like Cobblemon, it didn't get in a boat. So I didn't even turn on the camera because I didn't want to have another awkward situation where we find a rare Pokemon and then I just can't catch it. But I was like, I can't not do anything. So I just threw a Great Ball at it without even entering the battle, and I just started walking away because I thought there was no way I would catch it. And then somehow on that first Great Ball, without ever lowering its health, it got caught. So that's got to be the luckiest catch I think I've ever had. But we now have a Roaring Moon who is way too high level to use right now, but we'll definitely have to use later on. One of the coolest Pokemon ever. And I guess if you want to catch one of these guys, they spawn in meadow biomes. That's where I just found him. And then as if that wasn't crazy enough, we also just came across a wild Applin, which is one of the most fun dragon types Pokemon that are out there now. And so let's see if we can catch this as well. And if we do, this is going to be the craziest first episode ever, catching a Rowlet, Roaring Moon, and Applin. We're definitely having our team start to look pretty sweet. Now this is one that we should be able to level up to break down its HP a little bit with attacks, so that's good. And our base is almost done. I'm a little bit of ways from it right now, grabbing some final materials before we finish it, but it's looking pretty good, and I'll show you guys the update here after we catch this Applin. Let's see, one more final ember. Hopefully shouldn't knock it out. It's got 9%, which is pretty perfect. I think we should be able to catch it here with a Great Ball, and then we'll have to decide which version we want to evolve it into. And let's see if we get it on the first ball. There we go. Well, this has officially been probably the luckiest episode I have ever had in any Cobblemon or Minecraft Let's Play ever. I'm going to finish grabbing the materials we need, and then we're going to finish up that house. And if we come across any crazy Pokemon like Roaring Moon, I'm definitely bringing you guys back, because with our luck, we'll probably catch it just throwing a Pokeball at it as we're running by. Also, I should make sure to mention that Roaring Moon doesn't spawn in vanilla Cobblemon. I'm playing with the Aldemon's Cobblemon edition, which I'll make sure to link in the description below, but this allows you to have other Pokemon that aren't in vanilla Cobblemon yet. You know, once these are released into Cobblemon, we won't need these add-ons, but I want to make sure to mention that here. You will need that add-on in order to find Roaring Moon. And don't worry, I'm going to have a full episode on the mods that I think you should use with the survival guide in the future. Okay, you guys are not going to believe this. We have had the craziest first episode. A wild Zapdos just spawned, and I tried putting it in a boat, but it didn't work. So I'm throwing... Oh, it's attacking us. Okay, we're just going to enter battle. I tried throwing a Quick Ball like we did with the Paradox Pokemon, but that didn't work. And by Quick Ball, I mean Great Ball. My bad. We don't have Quick Balls yet, unfortunately. But I cannot believe that we just found a wild Zapdos. We are wildly unprepared, so I don't know if there's any way we're actually going to catch this Pokemon. And I'm going to have to move my mini-map. I just realized that's kind of in the way there during the battle. So I'll have to move that, but I can't believe we just found one of these guys. I don't know how we're possibly going to level it down. We don't have the attack to do it, even with the Paradox Pokemon. So I think I'm just going to throw Great Balls and see if we get lucky. We've had some insane luck this episode, already finding a starter Pokemon catching it, a Paradox Pokemon catching it with a Great Ball without even entering the battle. And now we've just found a wild Zapdos, and let's see if somehow we can get some more Great Ball luck. If you guys are enjoying this video, if you think this luck is crazy, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You're not going to want to miss the rest of the series. This is only episode 1, and we have already had some insane luck. And now if you want to know how to find legendary Pokemon, don't worry, I am going to do a future episode of this series. Will be built around just how to find like any legendary Pokemon you want in Cobblemon. But as a quick synopsis for now, I am using the Aldemon's data pack, and then I have several legendary spawn guides on my channel that you can check out if you want to know how to find a specific Pokemon. I was started to try and use Ember here to see if we could maybe get it burned so that we could lower its HP a little bit and get the status condition for an extra effect, but it didn't work, and he did knock out Charmander. So to give us some time, I'm going to switch into Roaring Moon, see if we can get a little bit of damage off. Zapdos has been using a lot of non-damaging moves, so I'm hoping we'll get lucky here and we can get a lot of damage off, but it did just hit us with Thunder. And now Roaring Moon looks crazy. I swear that's one of the craziest looking Pokemon ever, and I can't believe we have it on our team. Super awesome. If we get to Zapdos, that would be insane. I'm going for Flamethrower again because, like I said, I really want to land a burn. That would really help to lower its HP, and it would increase its catch rate, but it just hit us with Thunder again, so we're probably going to get knocked out here pretty soon. I'm a little worried we may not catch Zapdos, just like Cobblemon, which I forgot we already found another legendary, and we couldn't get Cobblemon, but maybe we can get Zapdos, so I'm hoping we can here. Trying to see if there's anything else we can do, but I think Flamethrower is our best option to try and land a burn. So we'll go again. It keeps using Rain Dance, which I think does lessen the damage that Flamethrower does, unfortunately. Still, hopefully we can land a burn, and that'll make it a lot easier to catch. Oh, he does hit us with Discharge, so none of our other Pokemon are really going to be able to do any damage, so I think we're just going to huck the remainder of our Quick Balls until we get knocked out and hope we get lucky. Yeah, Applin doesn't have anything. We'll throw a Great Ball. Sorry, I keep saying Quick Balls. We don't have Quick Balls, we just have Great Balls, but let's go. I feel like we can do this. There's got to be a chance. Applin gets knocked out. Now, all right, I don't know that we can do this. The chances of us catching a Zapdos with this high HP with a Great Ball are basically 0. But maybe we'll get lucky like we did with the Paradox Pokemon. Oh, 2, 3, no way, no way. No freaking way. Holy cow. We just caught a legendary Pokemon with Great Balls with our super low level Pokemon. This is the craziest episode ever. I still need to show you guys the house that we finished, but first let's look at Zapdos, this incredible legendary Pokemon. First one we've caught. Can't believe our luck. And let's check the biome here that it spawned in with the F3 key. It looks like it spawns in a river biome. There's other biomes too, but that's a place you can catch it. All right, it's taken me a while, but I think I finally have a house that looks pretty nice. Now, there are a few decorations and interior we haven't done yet. We've hardly done anything inside, right? And here we've just added a couple storage things, our bed for now, some furnaces. We're gonna fill this out a little bit more. I wanna make sure we have bunch of house plants around here. I just don't have pots yet, and so those will be around on several parts here on the outside as well. But for now, I think it looks really nice. I love the chimney up top. I think the coloring is really cool. And then in here we've got a pretty interesting area. We've got a farm here, some area for animals, and so it really combines a lot of early day things into one awesome build. Now before we end, I'm going to share a couple of tips of things I think you should focus on early game in Cobblemon in the first couple days. And then as well, let me know what you think about this house in the comment section down below. And if you've enjoyed this video so far, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future episodes of the survival guide, because the rest of them are going to be very geared towards teaching you important skills and tips, and then showing some awesome Let's Play as well. So like similar Minecraft, you're going to want to make sure you have some sort of base early on. It doesn't need to be this fancy, and some food source. I procrastinated that a little bit, but the two main things I highly recommend are to start planting apricorn trees. I'm holding off on this just a little bit because I'm going to try and build an automatic apricorn farm in one of these first episodes, but start planting these as soon as possible, because without these you aren't going to get any Pokemon, as well as making sure that you're getting iron and copper as quickly as you can. My next tip actually is one I haven't really shared before, but I recommend that you start planting berries as soon as possible. You know, it doesn't need to be a ton, but anytime you get one, plant it and seek out berries. Berries are one of the most underrated features in Cobblemon. To do a lot of the advanced things in the game, you really need berries, and that's going to change even more in Cobblemon 1.7. They're adding even more features for berries, but the problem is there are a ton of berries. They're scattered all over the world, and it takes you forever to find all of them. So from day one, I want you to prioritize planting berries. Anytime you see a berry in the wild, harvest it. When you get back home, plant it. And we're gonna have a dedicated video on berries, so if you have any questions, comment them down below and I'll make sure to answer them in that video. But I just want to mention here in episode 1, if you see a berry, grab it, plant it, because it's going to take a while to amass all of these. So you want to start day 1 so you don't have to wander around the world as you're farther in trying to find as many berries as you can there, because if you do that, it's going to take forever. Now make sure to check out the next episode in this series. I'm going to be showing you everything you need to know about gym leaders and trainer battles in Cobblemon, answering a bunch of common questions, and showing you how to really have a lot more fun and a real story in the game. But thank you guys so much for watching. This has been episode 1 of the survival guide. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it, and if you want to show your support even more, consider becoming a channel member by hitting the join button below.